How's it going, everybody? I'm here with the main guy, Scotty. The best events video you're going to be finding from Marvel Strike Force. We got some good ones this week, right? We got a lot, though, for the last anniversary week, don't we?
It is a busy week.
Right, and it's going to kind of launch off with 100 basically free Howard the Duck shards and a Gear Tier 20 leaderboard that's going to be vastly different than the last Gear 20 leaderboard. We got a lot of thoughts to share on that. Before we get into that sort of juicy stuff, though, let's go over the daily grind stuff we've dealt with all anniversary. Seventh time is the charm. We're going to be collecting charm milestone points, battling with global characters, and if you got 7 yellow stars on Shield Medic, you can get a quick 50,000 milestone point jump on that. Why don't you walk us through this one? Pretty basic, right?
Yeah, so it's like fourth, 7th anniversary event. We're gonna get a bunch of the 7th year tokens, which are basically just gonna be all overflow because everyone should be pretty close to completing that one already. So just using global characters, any mode, the blitzing with 7 yellow shield medic. If you want, it's just bonus points, and then collecting the complete all daily objective every day. So you have more than excess to complete it.
Yeah, right on. So no big deal there. It's just free stuff is free stuff. And then we got the 7th year bash, the web milestone event for using eventful energy and starship energy. This one, every single time, while I'm going over the week, I feel like I'm falling behind. But then by the time it's done, I'm just good. And that's kind of the way the math works out, right? We're just good.
Yeah, like with 2 separate showcase events happening, like if you don't core them all, any of them, but you just do the energy, you have an excess of 10k points. So like you could miss a day probably.
Right on. So I like that kind of leash. I like that kind of extra leash. All right, let's get into the big event. The legend continues, and these are our event inputs. We got a lot, so hang tight because this is going to be important for the leaderboard. Undying Orb Fragments. So these orbs, I've been told, are the same ones we had for the Zombie Scarlet Witch that did have her inside. Now they had her, I believe, the minimum was 1, the maximum was 16, with an average being of about 3 shards per Zombie Scarlet. We did not get many of these orbs by coring it. And this, in my opinion, is going to be the most variable that people kind of have control over, because a lot of people going for the leaderboard, they'll finish the entire kiln tower, they will use their star gems to get the 45,000 points. Obviously, whatever you bought the star gemmer character up to will play it into account, but this undying orb seems to be kind of that X variable we need to figure out. But yes, as I just said, we also have clearing the kiln tower, or at least getting milestone points for every single floor. We'll go over what that leaderboard or those milestones look like, and then using star gemmers. Kind of a repeat of last week's event, right? Except we can't use 4-star Howard or 4-star Havoc to get extra points, right?
Correct. So I guess we'll talk about this a little bit later, but a lot of it kind of depends how many of the star jammers you have, how many times you have to actually use them. And what I don't have clarification on is, so it says use star jammers on offense or defense in Crucible. So you could just throw them on defense so you don't have to worry about it. But what I don't know is if it counts for Howard and Havoc's points, because they don't specify it there.
I would
And just
assume
the
it does.
wording of it, like it would be weird that it couldn't be offense or defense, but I also wouldn't put it past them to have that weird distinction that you have to use at least them once on offense to get those points. So I'll let you guys know if I hear anything, but I just kind of was thinking about it today, and I don't know why they wouldn't have put like the offense or defense thing in that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's already wordy enough. I don't know.
Well, here's what I will say. That this would be the first time they've ever given direct character shoutouts and had that defensive option work. So I don't think it's gonna work. I think it'll be offense only. The good news is this week is going to be U32, so we have 5 different Crucible days to figure it out and make changes. So it shouldn't be that big a deal to make it on the fly. Also, Star Jammers are trash on defense in the rooms for U32. I'll have a video coming about that topic a little bit tomorrow, early in the morning, tomorrow morning. All right, let's jump into some of your math here, because that's what the people are here for. This is going to be kind of the big track, right? These are for people that did get ahead, and 7 yellow Havoc, 7 yellow Howard. So what are they looking at here?
So starting at the top. So the daily free claim is unknown still. I'm estimating at 500. I'll change it if they're more generous, but I'll be surprised.
Yeah.
And then they're very inconsistent with these Friday, Saturday, and Sunday free claims. Like the last event we just had, we had a Friday and Saturday, but not one today. So it just depends. Like I'll update that as they come through, but like it's just one of those things I won't know until Friday, Saturday, or Sunday what that point will be.
Yeah.
Earn Undying Orb Fragments. So you earn the Orb Fragments from the 5 challenge missions, but also there's the bonus missions, and there's 5 available, but you need to have the Undying. I think it starts at 3 yellow, then 4 yellow, then 5 yellow, then 6 yellow, then 7 yellow. There was some confusion in the blog because it doesn't specify that Scarlet needs to be higher yellows. It just says Scarlet Witch Zombie and then the 3 Undying at the higher yellows. But if you look on the MSF website, it specifies the Undying. You have to have 4 Undying at 3 yellow, 4 Undying at 4 yellow, etc., etc. So if you have a free-to-play Zombie Scarlet Witch, like I do, she's at 3 yellow. So that means I'll be able to do one of the bonus missions that also gives 450 orb fragments per node, basically.
Yeah.
So what you can do if you don't have her at 3 and we need to technically do more nodes to kind of get to some of these milestones, is you can use cores to refresh those nodes. So that's where I kind of simplified it with like doing 6 nodes versus 7 nodes versus 8 nodes. You may not have those bonus nodes unlocked, but you can refresh the nodes with like 50 cores, I think it was.
Yeah.
So that's my thought process. So that's why I didn't break it down into like energy so much this time, because you are going to get some of the free energy during the day, but there's no free refreshes. So I'm just kind of talking about how many nodes you have to do fully per day.
Yeah. So if I remember the Zombie Scarlet Witch event correctly, it gave you a lot less energy than normal events do. So you actually had to core even just to get the 5 nodes done that are available. Mm-hmm. Yes, Scarlet Witch needs to be the same star as the other Undying characters. What we don't know is if they made the orb that much better like they did Captain Britain, right? Because the Captain Britain orb that we just had much better drop rates. So it could be that you might be able to get your Scarlet Witch upgraded from like a 3 to a 4, possibly a 5 if you core super hard. But unfortunately, that orb is not yet here in the orb store. So I wanted to see if we can get a quick look at it, but it looks like that's going to be a game time addition when the zombie event launches.
Anyway, so I wanted to explain that when you see like when I write 6 nodes versus 7 nodes, that's what I mean is, and that may depend what your Zombie Scarlet Witch is at on how many cores you have to use, but I did kind of use it like in my calculation, but like the more node use is kind of at the higher tiers where some people may have bought more offers on her anyway, but that's kind of like my thought process on it.
Right.
Okay.
All right, let's get back to the math. All right, so that is your Undying Orb segment.
So you will also notice I said 7 days. Mm-hmm. Don't at me that it's 6 days. I know that it's 6 days because it doesn't start until 1 day into the event. But technically, we have a bonus day. So when it starts on Tuesday, make sure that you do all like that number of nodes the first day, and then on the last day of the event, make sure you do that many nodes before the event ends, and technically you can get 7 days out of it.
Right. So an effective 7 days worth of resets, essentially.
Yes.
Right on. And so that'll get us to milestone 18. We'll go back to the milestone page, which we just kind of left off after we go through.
So this is also assuming that you're going to get to the last, beat the last floor of the tower. And I feel like the people that will have 7 Howard and 7 Havoc will have the Liberty teams to do that as well.
I was about to say, if you beat the Kiln Tower, if you don't beat the Kiln Tower, but you guys have these at 7 yellow for Havoc and Howard, shame on you. Shame on you if you bought characters that high, you can't beat Kiln Tower.
And then the bottom part where you have to use Starjammers in Crucible. Yeah. So some people don't use the full team. Like sometimes you're using Lilandra. So technically you only need to use 3 of the characters each Crucible.
Yeah.
Or you can use all 5 3 times. So you can just switch the 3 and the 5 depending on like if you want to use all 5 or if you end up doing more plug and play with them.
Yeah.
That way you don't have to like throw a Crucible to use the full team if you don't want to.
Yeah, I agree. And I think if I was in a position where I didn't have like the full Starjammer team built up to a very usable level, I would probably be keeping Howard and the Lander for offense, dealing with like a speed bronze spawn with Howard, or dealing with an enemy gladiator taunt with a Landra, and then I'd probably throw the other 3 on defense and just give up 1 room, because I think that the milestone rewards here outweigh the benefit of not trying to get a win in that room. Just my opinion there. All right, so this brings us to milestone 18. We'll keep that in the back of our heads from when we go back and look at the in-game rewards. This is 1 track down, so this is only having 5 yellow on Howard, which if you cored super hard in the last event for 4 yellow star Howard, maybe with these milestone points you'll get up to 5 and you get that extra 5,000 points.
Yeah, that's where I fall into. Like, I have him at 4 yellow just by coring him. But like some people may have had bad luck. But like my hope is through this event, I will then get the shards I need to get him all the way up to 5. And so what this means is you actually just have to do less of the undying nodes. So you have to do 7 versus later without a 5 yellow Howard, you have to do 8 nodes, I think it was. But this is still assuming that you're going to beat all the floors of tower and use your star jammers and CC and all that stuff.
Yeah, and guys, if you're worried about killing tower, rest assured I'll have my guide video, just me running through the tower, out basically an hour after killing is launched. So keep your eyes out for that. And there is a current section in the tower that does bother me, this Asgardian section here. The rest of the sections, they kind of have fallen into line with characters we've gotten since the first kill in tower, right? So like for Avengers, we have Hank Pym and Iron Man. Guardian Infinity Watch, well, Rocket Raccoon and Groot just got a rework. Global Skill, Agatha got a rework. City Mystic, Blade Oath. Asgardian, Odin, right? And that's just not super accessible for somebody who may be concerned with clearing cells 17, 19. I'm going to go hat in hand to the developers tomorrow when they're in the office and ask them like, hey, maybe add Starjammers here, right? Like just give Starjammers a place to thrive here. People will have that built up. It kind of fits thematically cosmic. Anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. But cool. And so having 5 yellow Howard, again, making sure we get that 45k with the Starjammer that's getting us to milestone 17, which as we'll see, pretty dang good, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's lots of Howard shards, X coins, some Crimson Health Catalysts. Like, as you had mentioned, like, people may start running out of Crimson Catalysts quickly, so I would stock up on those as much as you can.
Yeah, especially if you're a psychopath that went through and equipped all the Gear Tier 19 pieces on every single character that could get them. That was a mistake, let me tell you. All right, the next one you have is no 5 yellow stars on Howard, so how big a difference is this going to make for us?
So this is just then you have to do 8 nodes of the Undying, like the Red Death stuff. So it's a little bit heavier on the cores, but like I wanted to show, like you can still do it if your Howard's not at 5 yellow.
Yeah, and we'll show that milestone 17. I think it's pretty much worth it. And then here, this is like the bare minimum. This is how you get the 100 Howard shards. So what are we looking at for this?
This one I think was, so this was if you were at milestone 52 in the tower. So that means not doing the Liberty levels, just in case you didn't. I guess it depends who you need to use and how built they need to be, but they also have to be Gear Tier 19. So it just seemed like a potential spot people might not get all the way through.
Yeah.
So milestone 15, getting 100 Howard shards. You still have to do 7 of the Zombie Scarlet Witch nodes a day to get there, but it is possible.
Right on. All right, so let's jump in game real quick, and we'll go over the various milestones that we're going to be collecting this week. So this is the Kiln Tower, and this is what we're talking about. We see the milestone points given per floor, so it's not like you need to clear the tower to get a single point. No. Like you get points for every single floor cleared. And if we go down here, just touching on the value of Kiln Towers. So you were saying it's milestone 52. Is that where you left off? Yeah, milestone 52. We're getting lots of good X coins here, which is Gear Tier 20. Purple ISO, which is necessary for people who don't yet have Odin, but also necessary for the next raid tier. So keep that in mind. If you can get yourself some extra purple ions and purple ISO from this event, I would strongly suggest going for that. But pretty juicy rewards for this Kiln Tower, right? Are you excited to get your hands on all this?
Oh, I mean, I'm so excited for those diamonds on Patriot that I won't be able to use anytime soon.
Okay, I felt like that too before. Here's how I look at it now. I don't have to upgrade him, 6 months from now when I do get him at 7 yellow stars.
True. It's just like, it's one of those things I'm going to have, and I'm just like, all right, I'll see you like in a couple months.
Yeah, exactly. Or it's one of those things you get, and then the next week's Crucible rewards, you randomly pull 3 Diamond Patriot, and you're just like, come on, man. Come
Yeah.
on. What are we doing here? All right, but some pretty good rewards for Kill Tower. Make sure you check out the video of us running through that tomorrow when the Kill Tower comes up. But the legend continues. This is the actual event in question. So we got Howard the Duck Shards. I brought this up to you when we first jumped in the call. 200 experience. This is a big drop from the amount of experience we've gotten in past events where we're getting like 1,000 or 2,000. Like this is a big drop, right? Do you think this is them trying to, new players coming into the game are leveling so much faster because of this, right? The old heads, we've been level 105 for a while now. So do you think this is their way of still trying to help newer people level up a bit faster, but not too fast?
I guess so. I mean, I think a lot of people are just saying, can we just like get the experience out of like the strike passes and like all these events now? Because most people are there.
Yeah.
And I feel like they could have maybe just like consolidated like the number of slots that the experience is taking. Because now it almost feels worse to be getting only 200 experience.
Yeah, even though it's all overflow, it's like, okay, but it's very
it just looks even grosser.
Yeah. All right, but lots of good Howard the Duck Shards, as well as the X coins starting right out the gate, which I like to see. Sorry, the mirror is acting up. The mirror is completely frozen. There we go. All right, so do notice that there's 10 Howard the Duck Shards on the inside track here. I don't know. I don't know which coder got it flipped up there, but it's fine. Lots and lots of good stuff. So we were talking about Milestone 18 being sort of the high end for people that have 7 yellow on Howard and Havoc. So that's going to get you an extra 150,000 X coins, which is what, 12 extra Gear Tier 20 pieces for having that done. And 1,000
I think they did it that way because they want the X coins on the far left, and that was the only line where Howard and X coins are.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. That's fine. It's weird that you.
But it made those 10 shards hard to find, and they're actually important because that's like the 10 shards to get 100 and get the unlock. So I almost, when I first looked at it, I was like, oh shit, like people are going to be just short, and then I was like, oh, there's the 10 Howard, like just one column over.
There you go. But look, it's the return of the purple ions, 500,000 from getting that milestone 17, as well as capping out 8 million gold and getting the 20 shards to get your Howard unlock. This event is pretty damn generous, I would have to say, as far as X coins go, gold goes, purple ISO goes, and Howard shards goes. So kind of just a W event from a milestone perspective, right?
Yeah, those are bonus 20 Howard shards. You already unlocked him with the 10.
Ooh, let's go. 120, so I'm definitely getting my Howard at 5 stars. Yeah, let's go. All right, but with all these events, we got to start talking about these leaderboard stuff because this is for Professor X, and this is the creme de la creme, right? This leaderboard event, way more generous than the last one. The last one, getting top 1,000 to 1,500, gave you 100 Gear Tier 20. This one gives you 180, which is enough to equip 2 full characters that require 3 pieces all the way to Gear Tier 20. But this leaderboard's variable input is that Undying Orb, which, as you mentioned, is limited in the amount that you're able to farm depending on your Scarlet Witch level. My first impression, I told you this right away, is I think this event is going to be far more impacted by the milestone offers in the store because people didn't hoard ISO, right? People can't go harder on ISO. You gotta go harder on this orb. Not too many people super love war like me and you do, so they may not be jazzed up about coring for extra zombie witch shards. So give me your thoughts on that. Do you think this leaderboard is going to be more competitive, or is it just going to be, hey, this leaderboard is straight buy or die?
I think it's going to be the exact same. I don't think ISO was that weighted on it last time as you thought it was. Like, I still felt like it was offers that were more weighted. The zombie Scarlet Orbs have a higher point weight this time.
Okay.
So, yeah, I didn't find if you had hoarded ISO last time that it did help that much more with the leaderboard. But I just feel like towards the top, it's going to be offers.
For sure. Somebody had 20,000 ISO hoarded. It definitely helped them.
Oh yeah. Wow.
But let's talk about the Scarlet Zombie here. So Scarlet Witch Zombie, actually a pretty incredible character because when she's on her team, you can have her at 3 stars and it doesn't matter, right? But as we've been finding in war, like we can do 3-piece Undying for a plethora of enemy defenses, including one for Astro, which leaves Scarlet Witch Zombie free to
Zwitch.
kind of Zwitch. Let's call her Zwitch. Sure.
Switch.
It kind of leaves her free to go do her own thing. And I've been getting great use out of this. I see a Skrull team. I'm like, okay, I'm going to put Scarlet Witch on it. I'm going to put 4 new characters that are faster than Skrull. He instantly dies. We go from there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, right? Do you think that Scarlet Witch, as a solo character, has just enough interest in and of herself with that anti-speed bar on the war teams?
I mean, I would hope so, because like as we've seen, the Undying team is not going anywhere. So whether you love war or not, this is a team to invest in because it has been around for years and just keeps getting better. So I'm just excited, I guess, to see maybe who the 5th is going to be next Halloween. And if they don't give us a 5th, it's going to be really rude.
There's a 5th. There's a 5th coming.
Okay.
Spoiler alert, there's a 5th coming. And you will not be able to interrogate me for the answer. All right, so final thoughts on this event. Obviously, W Milestone rewards in here. I think if you want to be competitive in this event is going to be, for the leaderboard, is I think going to be one of the rare cases where buying like a $10 offer for milestone points might jettison you up like 3 different rank brackets. Me and Scotty differ on this opinion. I think that the ISO hoarding did do a big impact. You can't hoard for this. You can't hoard the Zombie Scarlet Witch Shards nearly as much as you can hoard the ISO. So I think like one offer is going to go a long way here. So buy or die, nerds. Scotty, anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
No.
Have a good day, everyone. Stay happy, stay healthy, and fun. Make sure you leave a like on the video. Tell Scotty how energetic he was today. And
even though he made me do it twice.
well, yeah. All right. Bye, everybody. Goodbye. Bye-bye.